Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Masezoke's evening broadcast. I welcome you all this evening, being the 14th of December 2022. You know, what it means, people, is in the next 10 days is going to be Christmas Eve. In the next 10 days is going to be Christmas Eve. And we, in this part of the world, Harmattan has refused to come, but hopefully it will eventually come. But so many of you, especially those in Canada and elsewhere, it will be winter cold. You know, you will be you will be drinking and smoking and doing everything with snow. I do know that children do love snow so much. And if your children are basically telling you to make a snowman for them, for many of you who are having, who are being in the diaspora for the first time or having the opportunity of having a Christmas, experiencing that for the first time, please, 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 by all means, oblige them and make them winter snow. Okay, so let's quickly run down this evening. It's going to be an interesting evening, I promise you that. And as usual, we may want to know where you are joining us from, and you know, let's know which country, which continent you're joining us from. We are trying a new system. Pardon us if there might be one or two glitches, but be that as
ABC Nigeria, Nigeria from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom.
APC has indeed gone, or rather, Nigeria has indeed gone from top to bottom. In the words of Buhari, Nigeria from top to bottom. So there is a crisis brewing in the last couple of days, and that crisis is a very simple one. Is, you know, in my view, it's a crisis that is necessitated by arrogance, and that is that the Tinubu, or rather the APC Independent Presidential Council and the APC Presidential Council have been accusing their Rise TV and their Rise TV crew as being biased, and that has actually shifted more to also getting into the This Day newspaper, also accusing This Day newspaper of joining that bias. One of the things that they've made request is that they should remove one of the columnists, I forgot his name, is one of the Yoruba guys, and that they should also on the TV side remove Rufai Hussein. Many of you think that that is an absurd request to make by such a political organization where their head also has his own media house. I mean, let it be the war of the media houses. Let them go and fight it out elsewhere and see what they can do. So, people, when we look at this, you know, I find it interesting that this morning, while Arise TV crew, that is the morning show crew, were doing their newspaper review, they had the following discussion. So, Okay, I just tested if my voice is coming over. No, so let's bring them in and let's have, listen to them in this conversation.
Ayo.
Good morning.
Yes, let's start the review with this day Nigeria's newspaper of record. Just above the lead story, Alake Nuga's allegations. Obagbena clears air, challenges them to present their candidates for the debates. Reiterates journalists, not their opponents in 2023 election. Insists resort to blackmail, fake news, bullying won't work. Yes, there was a retort from Dele Alake and Bayo Ananga, spokespersons for the Bola Ahmed Tinubu campaign council. And in that retort, several allegations were made attacking the person of President Nduka Obagbena, CON. But again, you don't just attack somebody and run away. Now, in that 4-page rebuttal of many of those allegations, Prince Nduka Obagbena stoutly defended his integrity. But let me just say one or two things about this day, where I remain an executive director. Well, when Disney went to South Africa, for those who don't know, the South African newspaper industry is like a Kaaba. And coming into that space with the kind of robust journalism we practice in Nigeria, it was not surprising that they tried to tighten the space against Disney. And Disney South Africa, you only need to put it on the table alongside other South African newspapers at the time. And I'm pumping over $30 million into that project. Yes, we did everything. But the other issue they raised concerning Obagbena and the defense of democracy, the defense of June 12th, these came into existence when Abacha, the Abacha junta, banned.
Now let's take this much from this morning show, and let's come back to issue at hand. The core issue here, because when you want to synthesize, when you want to basically do content analysis and basically do a summary of this, there is only one thing that is very paramount here, and that is very simple, that the candidate of the APC is running away from debate. And the Rise has made it a duty to always reminding them, for you to be the president of Nigeria, for you to govern these people, come, you need to talk to the press. It mustn't necessarily be us, in this case, Arise. It could be any other press, locally here in Nigeria, where people can actually ask you questions, and you give them answers. This is what you want to do. This is what you're not going to do. But it appears the people in question have no single iota of interest in speaking to Nigerians. However, they want to govern Nigerians. You recall Shehu Mahdi. You recall the magician, the one who could miraculously be healed of spinal cord injury. Pack that on one side. But listen to what he said about the man in question being discussed.
APC government came into power to fight what? To fight corruption. To fight what? To fight insecurity. To fight what? To fight economic crimes. To fight what? To correct the economic disparities in the society. But you and me, everybody watching this program, knows that they have failed woefully. If you take the issue of security, I don't need to lecture anybody about how insecure Nigerians are now. Nobody is safe on the highway, any highway, in the workplace, in the industries, in banking halls, in primary schools, in secondary schools, in universities, in other tertiary institutions. Nobody is safe. We are much safer before 2015 than we are now. I stand to be corrected. Look at the economic indices in Nigeria. We are much, much poorer now. There are more poor people. When the government said they have lifted 7 million people out of poverty, clear indicators were that more than 20 people have been sent into permanent economic husbandry. When you talk about trust, we are the most disunited nations now. Nigeria is most disunited now than ever before on account of bad leadership. We have seen promises not fulfilled. So I don't know what Mr. Bayo is saying about the achievement of this regime. They said they are fighting corruption. We are seeing corruption working with its own legs. The most recent one is the Accountant General of the Federation, who was alleged to have stolen 109 billion naira, not by Dr. Ruben Abati didn't do that allegation, neither Hussein nor myself. No, EFCC, a government organ, alleged that a government official have stolen 109 billion naira in his own office. When we calculated, if a public servant is earning a million naira per month, and he keeps that 1 million naira in his own safe, and he gets all his daily requirements free, for him to save 80 billion naira, he needs to work for 6,664 years to save this much, and one person have stolen that money. The chief of naval staff was on the air. You also saw him. He gave vivid account of the way and manner mother ships were being loaded with stolen crude oil, and by the last calculation, 8.2 trillion naira crude oil is being stolen every 12 calendar month in Nigeria. You can continue issues of corruption in Nigeria under APC ad infinitum.
Did you hear that? Now, the question is, on what account would they be running for this presidency? On the account of the monumental successes of Buhari, or on the account of the regime's monumental disaster? Suddenly they will now tell you that they built Lagos. You say, oh, Baba Jakonde, where have you been? The one from Adamawa State, Buba Mawa, that really cleaned up some areas in Lagos. Where have you been? Many of them, even Ndubisi Kalu, where are they? It's only one man who built Bullion Van and had an extension.
Such that when APC go out for
and had an extension in Bodily, is the one who built Lagos. Now, if you take this into consideration, you may begin to make more sense why they are running away from the people, because the people are now beginning to say, we want to hold them to account. We want to understand that thing that they want to do for us when they come into power. Now they are not doing anything. But if you want to then go to what they're actually doing today, for instance, you know, anytime they go on campaign, there is gaffes everywhere. People call them gaffe or gaffes, whatever. You know, they want to say A, they want to say B. At one time it was APVC. At one time it was PDAPC. At one time it was blah, 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 hula, baloo, hula. Just a simple word called hula blue. You know, hula baloo became a hit. You know, it was blah, hula, blue, blah, blah, blue. But even yesterday, another one happened. Again, it appears it has become a reoccurring decimal. Watch what happened yesterday in Kaduna State. See, that is the Muslim part. Now pay attention what is going to happen now. Now, In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. That's the only thing that he can no longer say.
In the name of our Lord, the magnificent.
The oh yeah. I can't laugh my head off. I can't. But let's listen to that verse.
In the name of our Lord, the magnificent,
Yeah, the magnificent,
the Father of all, the ruler, the greatest.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, don't turn ruler of Nigeria. I beg. Oh, you guys are cracking me up. You know one thing, those who are supporting this calamity that is about to befall Nigeria, they will be doing so. But now the people of Sudan are understanding when they were telling them not to allow old men govern them. Oh, we want independence, we want independence. Southern Sudan, they got their independence. Look at a Southern Sudanese leader, their president, just on a road commissioning. He weed and he peed on his pants. Not kidding me. Watch. This is South Sudan. At this point in time, look at when the man looked down and saw the we running, pressed, shaked, running over. Look at the floor. The we was everywhere on the floor. At this moment, he had his head down, looking at his pee. He couldn't go out. Why is that happening? Because Africans have refused to engage their number six. Africans have refused to engage their brains. Only keep giving power to those in their departure lounge. Those about to be, you know what we mean. But again, that's again for those of you who wish to bring calamities onto yourself by virtue of the way you want these things to happen, is up to you. It's up to you. But know ye that you have you have future generations that you owe this obligation and responsibility of making a better and informed decision on their behalf. That we should always walk away from. So now, if we walk away from this, you now come to something that borders still on this government. You know, the National Assembly guy, Honorable Kazaure, my good friend Kazaure. Kazaure has exposed MFL, saying that MFL stole a couple of trillions, not even billions, trillions. You know, in as much as the amount he mentioned is mind-boggling, but it makes one also begin to question its veracity by the sheer amount of money. Anyway, I don't know. It's not before you accuse me of not believing him, but just listen to him.
An alarm that this man will not be appointed because I have some document I take to the president directly of almost 800 million pounds.
Now, he said here 800 billion million pounds. So which one? Billion or million pounds? I don't know. But we know that that money, the acquisition is 89 trillion. And I think, how can someone take 89 trillion? Come on. 89 trillion. How? I don't know, but it tells you that if this government were to be serious, things will be
Get
happening.
the document through one CBN government in a secret way. I get the document to the president to investigate that money. How that money came from HSBC Bank. President says he will investigate. But they go and tell the president lie. They convince the president. You know, Mr. President is one man. Whenever you come to him, he will ask you, are you talking between you and your God? If you swear to Allah, he will agree with you. So, President appoints this man because some people around the president are brainwashing the president, telling him what is not true. President will not go out and see it with his eye. He relies on paper. Says they wrote, whatever they wrote to president, he relies on it. He will ask them, between you and your God, is that true? When you say you are true, he will sign and give you to go for progress. So president, when I inform him about this issue,
If that were to be, if his narrative here now were to be true, that it's, when such issue arise and you go to the president, tell him that this person is commingling the public resources, and the president says, are you telling me the truth? It's between you and God, or it's between you and Allah, and he gives you document to sign and says, I'm telling you the truth, and that's it. I think that's very archaic and awkward way of governance. Now, if you're watching me for the first time and you haven't subscribed to this platform, please, by all means, click the like button and follow and share this stream. Let's continue.
Of this money and these charges, he's appointed to the CBN government. That is why he created the committee. He gave me power to remove the CBN government.
At this point, I do not know what to do again. Sorry. I'm struggling not to laugh. At this point, I don't know what to do again. Because he said the president didn't actually listen, but at the same time, he said that the president gave him the powers to remove the CBN governor. Then I query and I ask, if the president had given you ab initio the powers to remove the CBN governor, question then remains. Alhaji Kazaureni, why did you not remove the CBN governor?
He gave me power to investigate, to remove him, to investigate him and detain him. President gave me that power. That is why I assure President is not aware of everything. President give me power, give this committee power to remove CBN governor, to remove CBN, give this committee power to remove CBN governor, investigate him and detain him.
Now, if the president give you the power, why did you not, after investigations, why did you not remove? You have not answered that question.
To make sure all the allegations came out and this money recovered. So Mr. President is not aware. Even when he reappoint him, he reappoint him just based on the paper, because he doesn't know what is going. He relies on paper. He's a good man with a good heart. And he consider the people that brought that paper, they swear to Allah, this man. That is why President appointed him. But I am sure President gives this committee power. President gives this committee power to remove the CBN governor, to investigate him, and to recover all those money to the federal government account. That very night, Lagos State went to President ask the president how you give honorable Kagoro committees investigation of president says he's not aware. He didn't stop us. And he called DGSS and directed DG to continue the investigation. Let the committee go and continue their work. So, based on that, we invited the CBN governor again and the deputy governors with the head of the DSS.
You know,
come to the DSS in our office in DSS. We keep him for 4 hours. We are about to detain him. He starts asking, am I under detention? Am I detained? Am I detained? I have a problem. I want to take, I have my medicine in the house. He starts panicking. Later on, they say, let us release him on administrative bail, so that any document we need, he can bring. On administrative bail, so that any document we need.
I think for some reason there is an echo. I do not know. For some reason there is an echo. I do not know. Sorry, people. Just trying to figure out why there is this echo. Sorry, people. Just trying to figure out why. If we have many things open. If we have many. Do we still have this echo? If we have many, do we still have this echo? No, I think it's fine now. Do we still have this echo? No, I think it's fine. Okay, so everyone, I think the echo. Thank you very much, one man, for alerting me to that echo. So what in essence, one is saying here is very simple. That when you listen to this, in as much as his manner of presentation will confuse you, the more, if you do not pay much attention, or if you basically want to pay real attention to make sense of what he's saying. Because when he started saying, in his own argument now, it appears that Buhari eventually now sent someone, or rather that the Lagos State Governor Sanwo-Olu was able to influence the president not to investigate. But either way, however you dice this, there is something that is very unpalatable here, and that is very simple. That the level of corruption with this government is really mind-boggling. That is something that anybody cannot argue against. That the level of corruption. Yesterday, there was this, in what's it called, Makurdi. In Makurdi, it was rumored that rotten monies were seen. Rotten monies were seen in a warehouse. Now the question that ordinarily will bother any single individual that sees such a video will be, how did we get here? How come that people would steal or pack so much money? But however, the police have come to debunk that story, saying that that story is not true, that money is some sort of discarded old notes that they get from CBN or get supply from CBN and use them for mosquito coil. I do not know if that is the case, but if as many of you know, that video trended yesterday. Now, if you move away from the Nigerian politics, move away from APC and Arise TV conflict, if we narrow down to human angle here, there is a story that broke in my state of Anambra. And that story, when I watched the video initially, I mean, there are things that happen, you can't believe that. This is not It's not the story of the carnage that our fellow brothers who are very misguided, who are sick in the head, destroying their own fatherland in the name of whatever they are fighting for, telling people to sit at home for 5 days, in a time and in a season that that Ndibo, the Asian people, the time that they engage in their seasonal tradings. Now you tell them to sit at home and you're killing people. In the last couple of days, cumulatively across the southeastern states, we have lost about 13 lives. 13. Why? These are individuals that, nothing, that wasn't accident, that other individuals came, shot them point blank, killed them. Their anger is that they disobeyed, quote unquote, sit at home. I call it sit at home madness. Sit at home for what? But that is not even the case here. If we go to the case that I want to speak about now, it is because it breaks my heart. I have children as well. A man that is, how old is that man actually? A man that is 75 years old, raped. That's too heavy. A 75-year-old man defiled a 13-year-old girl that was given under his care as a house girl. And the girl gave birth to a child. When I saw the video, when I saw this video, I didn't know what to say. Honestly.
Is that full now, bro?
Now, look at this young. I wish there is. Man, look at that young girl there. That video, a young girl of 13. Apparently, this man, 75 years old, raped this girl when she was 12 and she became pregnant and gave birth to this young child there. The one that recorded the video came into the hospital, into the maternity ward, and saw a little girl, thought that this little girl is maybe someone helping the mom or the sister of a relation carrying a baby, and he struck a conversation with this little girl, an innocent girl, and it turned out that this girl was, in many forums, in a way number or Major Lindy, people have been raging mad. But the good news here, people, is that the man in question has been apprehended. That is by name Sunday Moralu, who resides at Agu Oye Umudioka. Okay. He has confirmed that he is responsible for putting a 13-year-old girl in a family way, quote unquote, Nigerian way. The 75-year-old suspect stated this in an interview in Oka when he was asked the reason behind his action. Is there any time to castrate a man? I don't know if there is any better time than this. In his defense, the man said that he was only playing with the young girl and never intended to impregnate her. Hey! A rude 75-year-old man. Man, some things that happen for Nigeria. I'm honestly, I there are things that really, it shock you beyond repairs. It will shock you that you don't even know what to, you don't know what to say. He says, this man raped a 12-year-old. I do not, I've been thinking, how best can he be paid back? In a very painful, yes, the girls, there is an echo. Sorry. Let me reduce my volume then. Can you still? There is an echo. Let me see what's happening here, people. Do you still have the echo now? One man went to mow. Do you still have the echo? Did it get worse? Or did it get better in any way? Let me see if it's got better or it got worse. Can you hear me loud and clear, or is it getting worse? Or did it get better in any way? Let's see if it got better or it got worse. Let's see if I can find it and listen to it myself.
Here's 5 reasons to try manual health.
So do you?
Number 1, it worked for me. Number 2,
So do you? Okay, I think it should be better now. Okay, I think it should be better now. Yeah, it is better now. The echo is I believe is gone now. So the question that I would want to ask is, people, what do you think should be done to this man? What sort of punishment do you think should be meted out to him? I don't know. Honestly, what manner of punishment do you think, that is best for him? Because what would an adult look at a 12-year-old to the point of even conceiving the devilish idea of, defiling a 12-year-old? I believe maybe, yes, he's 75, but I do not mind doing justice to him by, you know what I mean? Honestly, because that is unbelievable. But you there watching me, what do you think should happen to him? What do you think should happen to him? Okay, so people will try as much as possible not to drag the stream, to make the stream really, really, keep it short and simple. And as the Christmas, the Christmas period is drawing near, we may have to do more community broadcasts where you can join and we have conversations, but maybe not for today. But be that as it may, let me leave us this evening with the following: that we must continue and we must continually demand that those who seek to govern us must be ready to speak to us. And I am Mazes Okanda. Say to you, thanks for watching.
ABC Nigeria from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom.
This one I say is on Congolese. I'm doing water. Everything is not money. They will blame the